I'm Robert Therrell.
And I'm Chase Bridges.
And we're both screenwriters.
Listen along each week as we
either work together to write a new short film
or go head to head with competing movie pitches.
This is
Written By. Slim Jim in the streets. Welcome to Written By, the 100th episode!
Yes, it is a day for great celebration. And it is also 9/11.
Oh yeah, it's 9/11, so like, rest in peace. But more importantly, it's the 100th episode of Written By.
Which, of course, I realized a few weeks ago when I told you, hey, our 100th episode just happens to fall on 9/11.
And that's just beautiful.
There's nothing more written by.
Yeah. There's nothing more. Does that mean we need to try to mix 9/11 into this short film today? So it's a listener suggestion. For our 100th episode, we're going to be picking one of your listener suggestions. We have the listener suggestion bowl. And if you are part of our Patreon, you get priority suggestions, which means that you have like a 3 times more chance of being selected. So for our 100th episode, it's really all about the listeners because you guys are what makes this show possible.
Yep.
Not financially or anything.
No.
just in spirit.
Exactly. Yeah. But you could make this happen financially.
You could. I mean, listen, financially, I think we're in the red forever. You know what I mean? Like, I bought these chairs. These chairs are like $100 each. We bought this tapestry. It's like $50.
Yeah.
We didn't buy this. Well, we bought the mic arms.
We did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't think you guys are ever going to recoup those costs for us. It's been 100 episodes. We've made maybe $200.
Something like that. Maybe $250. But
yeah.
Just a little insight into podcasting,
and 150 of that came in the past like 3 months.
That's true. That's very
We've grown
true,
so much substantially this year alone that it's recouped most of the costs from the first 2 years.
Yeah, no, doing a podcast is hard and a lot of work, and even the best ones, they grow exponentially like that. So it's a lot of work with no pay.
Oh yeah, and Robert does most of the work. It's got to the point where I just like cut clips, and the past few weeks I've been slacking on that. I've been so busy the past few weeks, man. And I'm just gotten a little bit like, you ever when you ever like are so busy for 2 weeks and you kind of like slack on your other responsibilities, and then you kind of get in this headspace where you're like, oh man, I've really slacked on so much, but I've also been doing a lot. Mm-hmm. But what you've been doing a lot for is not really your priority. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is I really love Written By.
Me too. Yeah.
And if you love Written
we've
By,
done it 100 times.
And if you love Written By, and you've been listening to these 100 episodes, and this is 100 episodes not counting like bonus episodes.
Yeah,
like we've done some bonus stuff where we ranked some episodes, or our top 10 movies of 2022, that kind of thing. You should share it with a friend. And also sign up for Patreon. And also, interact more on Instagram.
Alright, let's get into this. Alright. Into the listener bowl.
I really hope this is a good one.
Yeah. We got a... Oh, okay. This one is fitting for the 100th episode.
Oh, okay.
We got Written By Mockumentary.
Oh, snap. So it's a mockumentary about Written By? This is perfect for the 100th episode.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I'm reading it. Maybe they were like, Written By should do a mockumentary. But,
let me go look and see.
But I like the idea of a mockumentary about us.
Yeah.
Because we're both narcissists. And we could explore our favorite topic.
Hey, man, speak for yourself, man. Speak for yourself, man. I'm not a narcissist. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this was a suggestion from Matthew.
Okay. Nice.
I'm trying to find where he suggested it so I could see maybe a little bit more of the info. I think it was in one of our, like, occasionally on Instagram we'll throw up like a question on the story and be like, send us suggestions, and people will do that. Okay, yeah, a mockumentary about written by (parentheses exaggerated and or fake personas and situations). That is what the full suggestion is.
I like this.
This is dope. This is perfect for the 100th episode.
So it's about two people who start a podcast hoping to make films through the podcast.
So what happened in real life is, and I guess if you're newer and you don't know this story, so we wrote a feature over the phone. I had reached out to Rob. I had an idea for a movie, and I reached out. Can I say what it was about? We've talked about it before. Yeah. So I had an idea where I was like, you take famous literary characters from the public domain, and you do kind of an Avengers team-up movie. And so me and Robert, this is when I barely knew you.
Yeah. You just reached out, and it was the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got nothing to do. Let's write something.
You were like, I've been looking for a project. Let's do it. And I was like, ooh, good. Because, I mean, that was a big leap. I just DM'd him on Twitter. I had worked for him twice. He directed. And I was just like, hey, I got a pitch for you if you want to do this. And so we wrote it over the phone. Like every week we would just get on the phone and we would write scenes. And then we did that short. And then we wanted to work on a new short. And so we were like, well, we wrote a feature over the phone. Let's write this short over the phone. And that's how we wrote Single with Fangs, which was our first like co-writing project that was actually produced. And then after that happened, we were like, oh, wow, that would be a cool idea for a show. I texted Robert. Like, oh, this was it. I was about to text Robert. I remember this. I was at the ATM at First Citizens Bank, and I was about to text Robert, hey, we should do a podcast. And I wanted to do a podcast just talking about movie news and stuff. And literally right before I typed it, Robert sent a text being like, hey, we should do a podcast where we write short films. And I was like, whoa. And
that's crazy. You never told me that.
I haven't told you that? No, because I even said, when you texted me we should do a podcast, I responded with, oh, I have an idea for one. We could talk about movie news and stuff. And you were like, well, I don't know about that. You were like, I was thinking more of like we write a short film every week. And then we went back and forth on that idea for a couple weeks. One of us, I can't remember who came up with the idea of the title being Written By. We hired an artist for the logo, a friend of mine, Taylor Lockery. And then we started recording individually, essentially over the phone, like how we did everything else. I guess you were at home.
Yeah.
I was recording in my boss's office at my university. And that's how we did those first few episodes. And then we moved to the studio in person, our former studio. And then now we're in our new studio. And 100 episodes, man.
Yeah.
This is how it came to be.
Yeah.
What if, instead of telling that story for real, what if we started doing the podcast as like, for an alternative motive? It was like, this is how we're like laundering money for our drug operation.
I mean, okay, when I think mockumentary, I feel like that makes it a little grounded. Like, I'm trying to think like what kind of conflicts could arise uniquely in a podcast setting, you know?
Okay, mockumentary, when I immediately think of a mockumentary, I think of American Vandal.
Yeah.
So like a true crime mockumentary. So what if we did a true crime mockumentary about Written By, but like a murder that happened on the podcast?
Yeah. I think that might be too long for the short though. Because American Vandal, like it's like an 8-hour, 10-hour thing. Yeah. I mean, what challenges and things arise from making a podcast that wouldn't anywhere else? Like, that's going to make the mockumentary aspect of it interesting. Yeah.
Well, it's like, okay, if you were to do a documentary, not a mockumentary, a documentary on Written By.
Yes.
Would it be about the origin of Written By? Would it be about the rise of Written By? I mean, we're not super successful.
Exactly.
So it's like we don't have like this like it went to our heads rise to fame.
But that could be an interesting angle.
Yeah.
The fact that we've done this for so long and it isn't like 100%.
Oh, is that the mockumentary? It's like we act like we're these huge superstars, and then it's like written by Super Increase, and it goes from like 10 monthly listeners
to 12
to like 100, and it's just like, and that's when it all went to their heads. Yeah. And it's like we're like dressed in full like celebrity attire, like chains and watches and rings, and we're like, I don't know. There's something.
Yeah, the main thing I'm thinking about is like the podcast is just the two of us, and so any good story needs conflict. So that means we need to create some sort of conflict between the two of us. That gets resolved by the end of the short.
That's fair. I don't think we've ever like fought about anything.
We haven't.
I think we're both very like we're both very respectful people.
Yeah.
And so I think even if we disagree, we handle it very maturely. One time we did try to do a fake argument to help promote Single with Fangs.
Yeah.
Where I was really mad at you because you let a real vampire on the set.
That's true, yeah.
What if we did that? What if we did a mockumentary about how Robert, the director, let a real vampire on the set?
Oh, man. That's really funny. That's not, like, enough about the podcast.
Right,
but that's getting
it's
somewhere.
Adjacent.
Like, what if there's some sort of extra element to how... we figure out that the bowl is rigged. That's the whole thing behind the mockumentary. One of us has only written the ideas that we like into the bowl,
and that causes a big fight.
I don't know
because we have 10 minutes for this short, so it's like it needs to be like a open and closed story in 10 minutes in documentary style.
I think what a good frame of reference might be Jim Cummings when Thunder Road was in Sundance. He made a mockumentary about him and his crew going to Sundance because they thought, they're just like these indie guys with a film. We're just gonna mess around and have fun, and so they made this mockumentary where Jim is a full of himself narcissist just living it up at Sundance, and they're all like they're doing drugs and they're doing coke and everything. And then the climax of the mockumentary is supposed to be like them losing at Sundance, but the thing is their film wins, and so it turns into their actual reactions to winning Sundance.
I need to watch that. That's really interesting.
But I think that is a good reference because it's the real thing, but it's heightened a little to a comedic degree.
What if we do a mockumentary about the release of Troubled Date, the first short film that was written on this podcast?
Okay.
Because that's kind of a thing, right? That's kind of a narrative we were actually going for when we were releasing Troubled Date is, hey, we wrote this on the podcast. You guys were along for the whole journey, and then we release it. What if we do like a mockumentary on that, but something crazy happens?
Yeah.
Throughout, like there has to be like the hook, right? So like American Vandal, they're trying to figure out who did the vandalization. That one is all about his journey, and then they win.
Here's an idea. So Troubled Date, of course, it was postponed for a long time because of the score and composers and everything, but what if that was a lie?
And it was a cover for like something crazy?
So here's something I was thinking about, like podcast specific, is we've gone back and forth on who like does the main editing load, and like right now it is me, but there are occasions where sometimes I delete things I didn't mean to delete.
Okay.
Like one time, the episode with Gunner, I still have the episode. I don't have the project file anymore or the raw footage anymore because I had to split it between two hard drives. They were both full at the time. And I saw, I have that folder there. I deleted a folder, accidentally deleted the raw footage and everything. And it's, it's probably fine. but it could have not been fine. You know, what if I accidentally deleted Troubled Date and we had to covertly do it all over again
without anyone finding out?
Yeah,
that's cool. To go a little bit more wackus bonkus, what if it was like the reason it was postponed is because our lead actor Matthew, who suggested this topic, was a serial killer, and so we had to cover it up and get him off without getting in trouble, so that we can release our short film.
Oh man, that hits close to home because
I didn't even think about that. Oh,
not a serial killer, but close.
So for those of you who don't know, and I think it's okay to talk about this.
Yeah.
A person that we worked with in the past, not closely. They were just a part of a couple of videos that we were a part of. She was the winner of Food Network's Worst Cooks in America.
Yeah.
She actually, this isn't funny, so I'm trying to change my tone.
Yeah.
She was arrested for the murder of her child.
Yeah.
Which is very sad.
It was a really sad situation. And the whole thing around her was, I think other people we had worked with, they knew her from the local comedy circuit. Yeah. And all her local comedy was about, was like really clean. Wholesome stuff about being a mom. It was clean and everything. And I only met her the 3 times, but she, you know, that was her whole shtick, but she was wholesome and she seemed wholesome on those sets. And then
we met her kids that day.
I worked with her, 2 of her kids too. That's crazy.
Very, very terrible situation.
And stuff like that is just terrifying because sometimes you just like you never know.
Immediately I think we all were panicking because we were like, well, first of all, there's an angle that I believe, you know, we joke about being narcissists. I think there's an angle that true narcissists would take where it's they promote the videos that she's in, and they use that to go viral because I mean that story was really big. We were panicking. I mean, we took everything down. Except for like there was like 2 videos that we just like couldn't take down. And so they're still up.
And what's a shame is one of the videos she's in is one of my favorite ones I've done. At least from a visual angle, the Christmas video.
Music video. And I mean the first one I ever wrote that we did.
That's right.
Has her in it, and
which that one we've managed to cut her out a little. Like I have a shot in my demo reel from that video that I managed to just like mask her out of the shot.
Yeah, it's a really. So I guess we can't do that then.
I mean, okay.
Because I think that's a really fun idea.
We've gone down a little bit of a rabbit trail. I think there's something to the idea where it's like maybe we have to replace an actor, or what if you just decided you didn't like your performance because you were kind of nervous about the Dottie performance, specifically like we call them the Godfather shots where it's like straight on to you. You always seemed a little nervous about that. What if running with this story, you watch the film, it's like I don't like that. I'm gonna do it all again. And since you co-host the podcast, you give me the ultimatum of, hey, I'm gonna publicly like not support this film. I'm gonna diss it on the show if you don't let me reshoot. And we could run off. I don't think we talked about it on the show, but you've been learning Blender. What if you don't even do it again? You recreate the whole thing in Blender.
Is that crazy enough? Because like if I watched that mockumentary, I'd be like, oh, that really happened. I almost like the idea of like the lead actor Matthew doing a crazy crime, maybe not a serial killer, and then us two, the hosts of Written By, have to do this crazy like cover-ups just for our short film to release without getting in trouble. Or something crazy like that. It doesn't have to be that absurd, I guess.
Okay.
But it's just like I think it should be a little bit more crazy than I don't want the short film to come out.
Yeah. Okay.
Because also I am very proud of that short film.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, what's something I think we should definitely go with telling the story of why it was delayed so long.
Yeah. What if we reveal that Again, we're focusing on Matthew since he said the suggestion. Matthew in the short isn't real. That's also you.
Because and this is documented throughout the podcast. We had such a hard time finding an actor for that role.
Yeah, and we've delayed it because it's you in prosthetics. And like the story of it,
snap.
the story of it is we couldn't find an actor for that role, and you were like, "Hey, I really need to prove I'm a good actor. Let me transform.
This is it. This is
other
it.
person."
This is it. Okay, yeah. Because we can get Matthew in on this too.
Yeah. There's a great Friday Beers video where it's
I love them, dude.
Yeah, have you seen the one where it's the Secession style behind the scenes where they shoot like an iPhone sketch and it's about a dude that brings White Claws to a party. And
No, I didn't see that.
Everyone's making fun of him because he brought White Claws instead of beers, and they take away his mad card.
Yeah.
And it's like the worst 1 minute shot on iPhone sketch. But then there's this incredibly dramatic 5-minute behind the scenes featurette about how they wrote it and how it was made. And it's revealed that one of the characters was completely CG and played by someone else.
Wait, I haven't seen this. When did they do this?
It's on their YouTube channel.
Dude, their sketch about like the bomb suit guy, of like they scrolled too far back on that girl's Instagram. That sketch, man, is those guys. I've been using them a lot for like comparison of like some projects I'm working on.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, we need these. This is what we should strive to be.
Yeah.
Those guys are just.
Yeah.
I play Matthew's character, and we just did prosthetics and CG to make it look like a different person. But maybe to add some intrigue to it, we didn't want anyone to know.
Yeah, and so the story of this short is us letting everyone know. I think the motivation of it is trick everybody for a little, making them think Matthew is a real person, and then we reveal it to show how impressive of an actor you are.
Yeah.
And so this is what we would post on our YouTube channel in that situation, where it's like, here's how we did it.
Here's how we tricked all of you losers into thinking that there was 2 actors. Yeah. And there was just one.
And the other guy, Matthew Quattlebaum.
What a fake name.
Doesn't sound like
that
a real
sounds
name.
like we just made that up. Yo, Matthew's listening to this right now, and he's loving it. I know he's loving it.
So, okay.
We even do a part like in the mockumentary where it's Matthew sitting in the chair talking, and then a little slider goes across the screen, and then it's me.
Yeah.
And we do like a voice modulator, quote unquote, because we don't have similar voices. Voices, Jesus.
Yeah. So I think what we should do is, because we need a character arc. We need some character change in this for it to be a story.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to start off thinking that you are the best actor of all time. And that's why you think you could do the 2 roles. And you have to learn throughout the process that it's a little harder. And I think we start, we're just going to throw some prosthetics on. It's going to be fine. It still doesn't look fine. We have to, you have to learn Blender, do some CG, and then you're like, I could just do a different voice. And the different voice is crazy. But it just so happens that in the past few months, AI voice stuff became accessible. And so we're designed an AI voice.
This is really fun. I wish we would have thought of this for the release of Trouble Date.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this would be great. Yeah, okay. I'm really on board.
Yeah.
So what do we do at the end? Like, what is the big ending? Because typically for a mockumentary or a documentary, the ending is kind of like, how do we resolve this? Because it's not like this is a crazy... Or is the ending like, and we pulled it off, we tricked everyone? Like, it's a big celebratory thing? Or do we reveal that Matthew is a real person?
So, it could be, because this is a very real question people are thinking about a lot. It could be that we pulled it off, we tricked everybody, but when you really look at it, you start to have a change of heart where you're like, is that really even my performance? Because it's a voice that's not mine. It's a face that's not mine.
What is it, like the ship of Theseus or something like that? Where it's like, okay, I removed all of my features. I removed all of my voice. I removed pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Is it even still me?
Yeah, because we're having a big moment where we're claiming that Chase played this other person. And then when we're trying to make our big reveal video, you're like, I don't even know if it's really me anymore.
What comes to mind, and I know this isn't the same thing, but in the Batman, when they got Colin Farrell, but then made him look totally different, it's like, why not just cast someone that not Colin like Farrell?
Yeah. There are plenty of heavyset people with kind of Italian or New York mobster accents or whatever.
Yeah. And it's like, well, instead of that, we'll just get Colin Farrell and then put him through such a transformation you don't even know it's him.
I like the idea. Okay.
We're on to something.
Here's an idea I'll throw out. We managed to get the Matthew thing working great. And you're like, oh, we pulled it off. I'm the greatest actor of all time. We should replace everybody else with me. I'll also be Abby. I'll also be Kara. I'll be Gunner too.
That's really funny. So that's like escalation. That's the mockumentary part.
And this
that's
is the conflict between us because I'm like, no, we should stop. We have the finished film. I want to put the finished film out. And then you insist.
And I get real intense.
I'm taking the film. I'm taking the hard drive and I'm making my version of it.
Oh, yeah. And I just start like bullying you and harassing you. Like, we could put it out right now. And I'm like, I don't care if it takes 6 more months. We're not putting this out until I'm everyone. And then at the end, we put the film out and we put a bunch of fake reviews where everyone is praising everyone's performance except for mine.
Except for the real you.
And I'm just like, I suffer from depression. Yeah. Can we make this for real? Because this is so funny. Yeah, we're going to make this.
Okay, so
we're going to make this, guys. Y'all stick around because we're going to make this one. A mockumentary, dog?
We open with an episode of the podcast just from the perspective of that camera.
Yeah.
And we're like, so a few months ago, we put out our film Trouble Date, but there's something we didn't tell you about Trouble Date. Yeah. We talked a little about how we had a bit of a harder time finding someone for the role of Craig, and we landed on this dude, Matthew Quattlebaum. Well, we have to reveal that we've been lying to you.
Dude, and we feed in clips from Written By where we talked about how much we were struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going. Sorry. I didn't mean to jump in.
Okay. And then that's when you're like, I was both characters. And then we just cut to, footage. We start, it's like a time jump thing. So then we start back with the
beginning. And then I think
it's just a BTS shot of us after the podcast has been recorded. And it's like, I don't know how we're going to find a guy to play this dude. And then you have the idea. It's like,
what if I did it? And then maybe you even say something like in your character, the Robert character, you're like, I don't know, man. We've done the dual chases thing before. I think we should really try to get a different actor. I'm like, no. No one knows it's me. And then it goes through the process of trying to disguise. First, we try like some basic prosthetics. It doesn't look good at all.
They all look racist.
yeah. Somehow.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that Bradley Cooper nose thing.
That is a big thing going on right now. Yeah. That doesn't work. Then we try to do some CGE stuff, and we finally get it to a place where it's working.
Well, I think that you show a little test where it looks like it's kind of working. We're thinking about this now because we're working on the Undeserted film.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to second guess if the old version of you is going to work. I'm so terrified that one test is going to look good, but once we shoot all the footage,
it isn't going to translate.
And so we get one test and it's like, we could do it. We shoot the film. We're in post and we're talking about it just after episodes are recorded. So they're all in this studio.
I have an idea.
I don't know if this,
I mean, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. We were talking last night. I have an idea for a fix for that. Okay. We can talk about later.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it so that way you remember, or I remember.
Okay.
Okay, carry on. Sorry.
We're having conversations after the podcast is recorded, so just in the studio. I'm showing you the footage, and it's like, I'm not buying it, man. I'm not buying that that's someone else.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know how you want to portray yourself, but I feel like I feel
No,
like
I should be
for the short to be funny, the performance has to be bad. You as Craig needs to be really bad.
Yeah. And then so it's like we gotta go more. And then it's like we do a lot of VFX.
Yeah.
Then we gotta replace the voice.
Okay. What specifically is it working about the initial Craig performance from you?
I don't know. Maybe it's just like the voice is a big problem because I'm trying to do a
different voice.
And so it's just
what kind of voice are you doing?
It's something ridiculous, like and it's just like, babe, we have to check out the Doctor Strange Blu-ray because it's there's an Easter egg. There's an Easter egg. We gotta watch it.
And we show BTS footage of the film being shot. And again, there are a few. We don't have a lot of BTS photos from that day because we were all so busy, but there are a few, and we revealed that they were all staged. And we do the little thing where you like the wiper comes across, and it's just me there. Yeah, and then we show footage of BTS footage of the real shoot, and it's you in one of those green suits with the camera in front of your face, and I'm telling you, dude, you need a different accent. It's like, don't tell me what to do.
And it was just like, bam, well, I watched that Strange Blu-ray. Yeah.
And this just makes the rest of the cast look so much better because they're acting across from that.
And then we cut to some footage, like we take some footage of the actual short, like the reaction shots, but we replace Matthew's voice with that fake voice of mine, and so it's just like bam, and we just see Abby going like. Because do you still have all the raw files from the shoot? We can find shots of before and after action where people are looking around and stuff.
Yeah, I think we should, because one of our favorite moments from the shoot was when Gunner's character first comes in.
Yeah.
Since Gunner is also a director, what do you think the Gunner character thinks of? Because also that was a big wide shot that everybody is in. So if we're doing the shot in this universe, we have to do it with you as Craig, and then we have to change you into the suit and do the whole thing again.
Yeah, and then like Gunner's character sitting down on the on the stool in front of the black backdrop, and he goes, "It was the worst performance I've ever seen in my entire life." And,
I instantly called up Seth Worley and Ryan Pauly, and I was like, "Don't worry about these guys. There's no competition for your podcast, man."
If you guys don't understand, there's these really talented filmmakers that do a very similar show to ours called Writers Room Game Show,
and we're both friends with Gunner. So.
Yeah. And they, I think Gunner's been on their show, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Their show, they do a feature, so it is different, but.
I only did this film as reconnaissance to see what these other guys were all about.
Yeah, that's really funny. That is really funny.
And so we just show a bunch of that. And I think the midpoint of the mockumentary short would be...
It's a success. We figure it out.
No. The midpoint's got to be... The shoot is over. Because I feel like there's so much comedy to be extracted from seeing the behind the scenes. The midpoint is... I come to you after we record an episode. I show you the footage. Like, this isn't working, dude.
And it's like...
I tried to tell you not to do the voice. Like, you...
I mean, with all these AI tools, can we just change the voice?
And it's like, well, okay. I mean, I wanted to put this out earlier, but I can make up a story about how, like, maybe... the music or something like that.
It's so dramatic, right? Yeah. And he goes, "It was all a lie. It was all a lie. The music was already completed."
Yeah. Our original composer, actually, he finished it in a week.
We get Mason. Mason was our original composer. He was really busy with work, so he wasn't able to complete it. And he's just like, I was slandered all over the podcast. Everybody was saying the music's not done.
They drugged my name through the bud,
and I haven't been able to work since.
Yeah.
And then. Oh man, yeah.
And it was just because Chase wanted to do both roles.
So then we get to the point.
I think it's got to get to the point where it's starting to get heated between us.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's
There's
a
a
risk
rift
of the
in the
friendship
relationship.
and the podcast ending.
Oh, yeah, we start showing clips from, like, podcast recordings where we start kind of arguing a little bit.
You know what we do? You figured out AI tools and you started AI editing the podcast. Let's say I stopped showing up to the podcast a few times, and
so
you
I'm
put
playing
yourself as me.
So I'm this megalomaniac that just replaces everyone in my life with myself. Oh man, that's so funny.
I think that is like the lowest of low. Is you figure out the AI tools and you're like, no, I want to be all the characters now. It's like, I'm not re-editing the film with all the characters. It's like, you know what?
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, and I'll do the podcast myself.
And you're like, fine, I quit. And then, like, there's like this footage of me trying to set everything up by myself, and then I go, "Welcome to Written by Podcast, #1 podcast in the world."
And then you get up, walk over here,
right behind all the other ones, and then I walk back over here, right behind all the other ones. Today, Robert, and
we pick an episode,
and I recreate
it.
Perfect. Oh my god, this is our Mona Lisa. This is our masterpiece. The 100th episode, and you're getting the best mockumentary you've ever seen, brother.
And so, I like this is really just a commentary on the dangers of AI, you know?
Yeah, and letting your ego get in the way of your art.
Yeah.
Man, this is hilarious.
And I think we could play this into real life because I've been releasing music again.
Yeah.
Let's say I just got discouraged with the whole Trouble Date podcast and everything. I just like, you know what? I'm a rapper now.
But I'm in one of the videos. How do we explain that?
We'll just pick different videos, you know, something like that. I don't know. But also, like, my rapping shouldn't be great either.
Should we make a fake rap song where like a really bad one?
Yeah, I write a really bad song that's very clearly a diss to you, but I don't like say your name directly.
And that's where the diss tracks start coming. Oh, that's really funny.
And so
so like your character's arc is this fall from grace of this really promising young director, and now he's like a shitty SoundCloud rapper.
yeah, because I had one bad experience and I can never pick myself up from it, and so I'm just I'm just destined for failure from this point.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious. And then it's like so if you guys want to see some of my music, and we're like, it's a fake TikTok account, and it's like 2 views each on all of these hundreds of rap videos. Oh man, this is so good. So what's the resolution then?
I was just about to think about that.
So at this point,
I think you're tired of doing written by yourself, because each written by episode is an hour and it takes 5 hours just to do the recording. And then you again, this is all about AI, and you're like, I've made myself the center of everything, but at what cost? And then meanwhile, and then like, you finally work up the courage to call me up, and you think, oh, Robert's probably doing great without me, or whatever. I don't even know if I should call him, but I'll call him anyway. And then meanwhile, I'm here, and I'm just making rap videos on TikTok that get 10 views, and I've low-key been waiting for this.
What if your character has been buying views and stuff, so it looks like you're a super successful rapper, and I'm like, he's a super successful rapper now. He doesn't want to take me back.
Yeah.
And so I call, and it's like in this room, it's dark, and it's just like, hello? Hey man, it's me. I'm ready to admit I have a problem. And it's like, and then you have that moment where I'm looking in the camera and I'm like, the first step is realizing you need help. And it's so where do we go from there? So I call you up.
Yeah. It's like, do you still want to put out Trouble Date?
And then maybe you're like, let's do it, but if we do it, we need to make sure no one can tell that you're playing all 5 characters.
Well, I think we take away AIU for everyone else, so we just keep AI Chase Matthew. It's like, okay, I'll do it, but let's put Abby and Kara and Gunnar back in their roles, and let's not tell anyone what we did. Or let's tell everyone what we did. Just come clean about it. I don't know. Okay. I don't know which version of that works.
What if I had put out Trouble Date myself? And then it didn't go well. All of those reviews are praising everyone's performance except for mine.
Actually, you know what? We should run with the reason we call him Reconnect. I think the climax of the film has to be putting out Trouble Date, because that's been the goal for the whole time.
Yeah.
What if you're going crazy with all the AI stuff? You start replacing more people than just Craig, and you're everybody. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not putting this out. And it's like, well, I'm not going to support this coming out. And so I have the hard drive with all the footage, but I've stopped being friends with you. You have all the written by stuff, and like, and so you're just doing written by without me. And so we each have a piece that the other person needs. And it's when we become friends again, I'm on the podcast again, we could finish the film together. The film comes out. And so really this whole mockumentary that we are putting out on the YouTube channel is us saying, hey, we made Chase a fake actor with AI, and this is why AI is dangerous.
Yeah, and that's the ending, is us coming clean about the dangers of AI.
Yeah.
And what it can do to a person's mind.
Yeah.
It's like a drug.
I think it's a drug that you could replace anybody with yourself. Like, what if you fall so low, that it's like, hey, I don't have to just replace people in the film with AI. I can replace people in the podcast with AI. I can replace Shama with AI. My wife said something, and like, I'll replace my wife with AI. It's like everyone is AI me.
We take one of my wedding photos, and then we do the little slider, and you see it's both me's, and I've replaced my wife with the AI. Oh man, yeah. And so it's like one of these true crime, like the dangers of drugs, but it's AI. Oh man, this is funny.
The only thing I'm still hung up on is I love the idea of you doing a really wacky voice for the Craig character.
Yeah.
I don't buy why I would have kept filming if you were doing a voice like that. I think we need some explanation to why we had to do it.
What if we have a scene during filming where like you take me into this side room and you're like, Chase, man, the voice isn't working. And I'm like, do you want me to release those pictures from the Christmas party? We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing this my way, or else those pictures are going to be all over the internet. And you're like, come on, Chase, be reasonable. And I'm like, shut up. And I'm like screaming at you, and you're like, fine. And then it cuts to you, and you're like, the pictures are very embarrassing. And then we show them on the screen.
Yeah. Okay, we should do something more inspired by real life, because we haven't done a Christmas party or anything together. But what if
it's a mockumentary?
I know, but what if, because we've gone back and forth on who edits the podcast, but like the first season, or at least like the first half of the first season, it was mostly me. And those episodes were really rough because we were just starting out and we were doing it remotely, and so I edited them down a lot to make it sound like we could actually talk. What if the whole thing is that I sound smart on the podcast, but it's only because I edit a whole lot, and you threaten to release the unedited episodes?
That's funny. I don't know how you probably don't want to be represented even in a mockumentary this way, but it was like you actually said a few slurs, and it's like, I'll release the slur cut.
Oh, actually, wait, no, we have like 3 episodes we never released just because they were bad.
Yeah.
But what if I just look really bad in one of the episodes? I wouldn't do a slur thing, but there's some reason why I don't want this episode out, and you threatened to release the Cerberus episode,
which is bad. It's very bad. We also, I'm trying to think of the episode. I don't mean to go on another trail here. We had a Cerberus episode.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a pro wrestling episode.
There was a story about you.
Oh yeah, I didn't feel
about
comfortable
Chase.
about it, so I asked for that one to be not put out.
And then there was an episode that got corrupted on an SD card, and there was an episode that you accidentally didn't press record.
Yeah. It was a busy...
That was like right before you graduated, so we get it. We get it.
I remember the one that I accidentally forgot to hit record on was a great episode. One too. I don't remember what it was about, but I remember it was really fun. Oh, man. But you'll never know. Okay, so we need a reason why you threatened to...
Or maybe we don't. We just let people guess. Because with your Christmas photo thing... You didn't say what it was. You just cut to me saying it's bad. So it's just like, I'll release the Cerberus episode.
And you're just like, no, man, you can't put that out. And I'm like,
you can't do it.
We're going to keep doing this my way. For the end of this episode, I don't think we need to do a rundown like how we typically do. Because I think we're kind of hitting the beats now.
I think so. So let's hit all the beats right now.
Yeah.
Just as a final.
So
we open... I think we're presenting this like we would post it on the YouTube channel as if this was the story of how we did this thing, and it took a bunch of crazy turns. So we're sitting here, we look in the camera, we're like, hey, so a few months ago, we released our film Trouble Date. Now, we're here to let you know that more went into the film than what you might have thought. So we talked about in our behind the scenes how it took us a little bit longer to find someone to play Craig. Well, we're here to come clean and reveal that Craig was actually also played by Chase Bridges. And you get the wipe of Matthew to you.
Yeah.
And then you look in the camera, it's like, and here's how we did it.
And here's how we tricked all of you, or something like that.
Yeah. And so we cut to BTS. We just finished the podcast. I'm like, dude, I just can't find an actor for this guy. Everybody either has to drop out or they can't do it short enough notice. They already spent money on this. We need to do it on this date or it's not going to happen. What are we going to do?
What if I played both characters?
I mean, I like the idea. Another reason this works is that this is the only film that we're doing where you're not the lead. And so maybe you feel a way about that.
Yeah. Well, I do. No, I do remember though, and this is, embarrassing, but when the call sheet came out and I was like third on the call sheet, I was like, okay. I was all right.
Yeah. You're also a producer. So you're like, hey, I've been looking into all these new AI tools. And it's true that at the time we were doing Trouble Date was when Midjourney was first becoming big.
Yeah.
And you were really like ahead of the curve on Midjourney.
Yeah, we were very excited about it.
And so around the time you're like, hey, I've been looking at all this AI stuff. And
I bet we could just replace me.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of post work. Do you think you could perform like the essence of two completely different people? Because we need to leave as little to the CG as possible. Like the CG should just be the last 10%. Can you move? Can you talk like a different person?
And I'm just like, I'm the greatest actor of all time. I can do it.
I mean, if you say, we would cut right there because that's a great line to cut on. And so we cut to behind the scenes of Trouble Date. I think we're talking throughout this, and it's like, so we didn't get a lot of BTS of Trouble Date, and we said it's because we didn't have a person, but we actually did. We just didn't want to release it now. And all these photos that we've posted, they're all doctored, and we see I like you in a green suit with a camera. And that's actually why that day was so hectic. I mean, you wouldn't think that a rom-com about 4 people in a restaurant would have 63 special effects shots. And it's not because of all this other stuff. It was because Chase was in a green suit.
And that's really funny because that would be pretty easy to just put me in a morph suit in the shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we hit that.
And we show the first shot of you talking, because the first shot we got of the shoot was of Craig at that table during the middle. What's one of the Craig lines that you would?
Is it that opening line where he goes, "Babe, we have."
Oh
to,
yeah.
We get home,
So we
have to
showed
check out
that
the Doctor
shot.
Strange Blu-ray.
Then do the voice.
So it's like, "Bam! Well, how did you check out the Doctor Strange Blu-ray?"
And I cut. And I was like, "Can we do a different voice, Dan?"
I'm like, "No, I just really feel like that's it. Like, I feel like we got it."
Okay, I mean, it's just when you sent me videos of you doing voices in the mirror, I thought we were gonna do like a different one.
No, I just feel like this is it, man.
Okay. Because again, when you're directing, you always want like positive reinforcement. You want. So I was like, why don't you just give me something else? Just give me something crazy, you know?
I mean, okay, I'll give you something crazy.
All right,
okay.
let's do a second shot. All right, and action.
Bam! When we got home, we had to check out the Doctor Strange Blu-ray.
I'm a level with you, Chase. When I said different from Dottie, I didn't mean like that different.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You said go crazy. I thought that was pretty...
Okay, it's coming across as really loud.
Oh, okay, it's quieter?
Yeah, do
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay. And action.
Bam! We gotta go check out the Doctor Strange Blu-ray.
And so then we cut to another scene. I think we should show when Dottie punches, or when Craig punches Dottie, because that would be you punching yourself in this scenario. And so we show that and how we have to line up all the shots and everything. And then I think the best part is we would show the shot of Gunnar coming in and doing his stuff, and we got to get your reaction. And maybe you have like an over-the-top reaction to it, because everyone is supposed to just stand there and be quiet. What if you refuse to do that as Craig?
I'm just like, wah!
Yeah.
Yeah. And throughout this whole thing, we're cutting to interviews from people on set.
Yeah. And I think the best part is like ending on the BTS of Gunnar coming in is like Gunnar is the person that's like, we want to look good in front of this guy, you know?
Yeah.
It's like he's also a director, you know?
We kind of like exaggerate him as well, because like he was on Ozark.
Yeah, he was on
and so
Ozark.
Like in Gunner's interview, he's like wearing sunglasses, and he's like,
it's like, I was on Ozark. You cut to him as the cashier.
It is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and so we're all whispering throughout the shoot. It's like, dude, the guy that was on Ozark is coming. It's like, okay, please just change the voice, man. We can't look bad in front of the guy that was on Ozark.
And I'm like, don't worry, man, I got this.
I think this is where we have to argue, where it's like, no, I'm sticking with the voice. It's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I can't look bad in front of the dude that was on Ozark and Vice Principals. You gotta do it. And then that's where you're like, I'll release the Cerberus episode.
That's really funny.
Please don't, man. You can't do it.
I'm sure everybody would like to see what you had to say on that episode.
Just cut to interview. It's like, there's a reason you haven't heard the Cerberus episode.
Yeah.
And so, what were you gonna say about? Because we cut to the performance.
Oh yeah, we cut to it, and I'm doing the voice, but then even to add more insult, I changed the line to like, is that the guy from Ozark? And then it cuts to you, and you're just like, oh. No. Cut to Gunner's interview. It was the most unprofessional thing I'd ever seen. Yeah. And I've been on Ozark.
I was in Body Swap.
Yeah. I feel like Gunner would so be down for this.
Yeah.
I think all of our friends would be.
Gunner calls Ryan Pauly like during his interview. It's like, dude, these other podcast guys.
Oh, we get the Writers Room game show guys in it, and they're like, we were a little concerned about two shows being so similar, but after Gunner told us what it was like on that set, we knew that these guys were nobodies.
Yeah. And so we cut to, we're behind the scenes in the studio again. I show you the footage, and it's like, this isn't working, man. Like, okay,
Yeah.
It's taking so long to render. Everything looks like PS2 graphics. It's janky.
Yeah.
The skin doesn't look real. I can't figure out subsurface scattering, and so all the light looks off. And then the voice just doesn't match the vibe of what we're trying to do.
Well, I mean, what if we used AI? AI could fix it.
How could AI fix something like this? This is so far.
Well, we do AI voice, and then we use an AI 3D software to change the character.
I mean, do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I can make it work. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
we show you've taken the footage and everything you're doing the AI.
So it cuts to me and I'm explaining what I'm doing to the camera. So basically what I've done is the AI takes all of these people's work and that worked really hard on it.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of make it very condensed and easy for me to drag and drop it onto the morph suit.
Yeah. And so I just look at things that other people have done and I say, I want to take that, and then it just gives it.
And then it just gives it to me. And then for the AI voice, I literally just took someone's voice off of this AI site, and I can make it say whatever I want. And then maybe the person behind the camera is like, "Isn't that kind of stealing their stuff?" Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm not stealing it. AI is stealing it.
Or maybe you're saying this to me. Maybe we condense it. I'm like, it's not working. And it's like, well, give me a clip, I'll do something with it. And then it's like, see, this is all the stuff AI could do. And then you show me how you made it look like someone else, you made it talk like someone else, you made it move like someone else. And then I just look at you as like, well, is that even you anymore?
And it's like, toon, toon. Yeah, that's really funny.
And then you're like, well, it is me. I'm just a really
good actor. And it's like, well, but you're not acting. You changed the voice. You changed the overall appearance. Mm-hmm. That's not you. And he's like, no, it is me, man. I'm just that good of an actor. Okay.
Yeah. And then somewhere along the line, that's when you're like, hey, I want to be all the other actors too. Like maybe we're about to release. It's like, well, okay, we can at least release this version.
Yeah, and it's the real version that in real life. So it's like the Matthew footage, and it looks really good.
Yeah,
and we're like, okay, yeah, this is it. And then I go, I don't love Abby's line reading right here. Maybe I should just play her too. And you're like, what?
What?
Yeah, I mean, I just do the same thing, and I can play Abby too. And you're like, but we didn't shoot you on the day in the green screen. I'm like, well, I'll just do it all in CG. I'll do it all in post.
But that's a real person that we cast. And I like her performance. Why would we?
Because I can do it better. I'm the greatest actor of all time, dude. We can make. Do you want to put out this okay short film, or do you want to put out an amazing short film?
I mean,
is this where the big argument happens?
I do want to be on Amuletto,
so maybe this would be where the big argument happens.
I think the big argument happens
because there's no way you're letting me replace another person with myself at this point.
Yeah. I think you steal the hard drive. I think that's what you do. I think we're recording an episode of the podcast and you managed to steal the hard drive.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, keep going.
And so you've stolen the hard drive and you're replacing all the other people
with me.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
And then it's got to come to a head. We have to have one big argument where we split off. It's like, I've replaced everyone with me.
It's like a Frankenstein's monster story.
Yeah.
Where you like...
It's like, dude, I'm not putting out that version.
It's like, okay, well then I'll put out the Cerberus episode. And you're like, fine,
dude, I don't care anymore.
I quit the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine, I don't need you. I can do it by myself. And then that's when we go into me replacing you in the podcast.
Yeah, and so we show you recording an episode of Written By yourself. We pick a random episode we've already done, and it's just you. Hi, welcome to Written By, number one podcast in the world. You walk over here. I think you like even buy some of the clothes that I wear because I just kind of wear the same outfits over and over. You change into
and then we do the little wipe and then you see it's both me. Yeah.
And so you're talking to the camera. It's like, yeah, so I just started doing the podcast by myself too. It's like I could replace my host with AI too.
And then we can even have an interview part where you're like, he stole my voice. he put my voice in an AI software to where now he can make me say whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there are hours of my voice recorded out there, so he was just able to
train a model on my voice.
And I think
and then you go, who knows what he's using my voice for? And then we cut to me, and I'm prank calling Pizza Hut with your voice. Or no. To tie it back into the gag with Gunner, I'm calling Gunner with your voice, being like, "Oh, you think you're a big shot because you were on Ozark?" And then Gunner's like, "I'm never gonna work with you ever again, Robert." And you're like, "Oh yeah, too bad, I don't care." And then I'm just like laughing.
And then you cut back to me. It's like, I don't. A lot of people have bad experiences with the film industry, and now I realize why people get out of this industry. So I've started a new life. I'm going to be a SoundCloud rapper now.
Yeah. Dude, I just thought of a new ending.
What?
What if at the end, behind the camera, it goes to me, "Did you learn your lesson?" And I just look at the camera and I go, "I don't know. Did I?" And then we find out this whole mockumentary is all me.
Yeah. And it's just like the Corridor rock, paper, scissors anime. It's just all green screen and photos of you behind a camera.
That's the ending, dude.
And then the top comment of the actual YouTube would be my YouTube channel going, "I do not condone this."
Oh, man. That's the perfect ending.
Yeah. And then just to flip, like we have the falling out, but then we get back together. And it's like, "I want to put this out. I'm tired of doing the podcast without you." It's like, okay, let's put out the version. We put it out, man. And then we have that ending.
Yeah.
That.
So you think that we become friends again at the end, but then no, it's still just me replacing everyone in my life with AI. That's so funny. This is it. That's it, man. We're done.
That's fun. I wanted to do something like this for forever. I love, there are a lot of short films with BTS docs, and I just think that's a really interesting...
This is a fun way...
I want to be careful how I word this, because there are so many filmmakers with BTS docs I like, and I love so much, and it gives me so much insight into what their stories are about, and also how they made it on a budget or whatever. But there are some BTS docs from short filmmakers where I'm like, you kind of got all your friends together to all say nice things about you, about how great you are, and then you're talking about how great your film is.
And then our version is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And plus, this is a good way of promoting Troubled Date, but in our way. Yeah. Like, this is also its own short film.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun. What a great episode for the 100th episode.
Great 100th episode. Yeah. Thank you so much for Matthew for sending this. I'm sorry we replaced you in Troubled Date.
I think Matthew's going to be so on board for this. Yeah. Oh, man. This is way better than I could have ever dreamed this episode going. Hey, thank you guys so much for sticking around for 100 episodes.
Yeah, guys.
Sincerely, man, thank you guys so much. I guess we just throw it to the outro?
Yep.
Or should we do and this has been...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And this has been Written by Mockumentary. Written by...
Robert Therrell.
And Chase Bridges.
And then it just fades to... And Chase Bridges.
Rolling. Little Limp Biscuit for you.
Nice. Guys, thanks so much for listening to us for 100 episodes. Dude. And to listening to Chase do Limp Biscuit.
I mean, we got to celebrate real quick. 100 episodes, man. We're talking 100 episodes of Written By podcast. 100 episodes of me doing crazy impressions that really aren't that great impressions, but they're pretty funny.
Yeah. 100 episodes of movie pitches that are all movie quality and could all be made into a feature film.
And in all seriousness, I think at least half.
At least, yeah.
At least half.
Yeah. And over actually there, I said 100. Probably about 40, 50 features, and then about 80 maybe short films. That could all be a great short film.
Also, I was thinking about this. If you're an aspiring filmmaker, We could clip this out because I do think this is a cool thing, and you can disagree with me if you'd like. I won't. It won't hurt my feelings. If you're an aspiring filmmaker and like you're a high school student or a college student, and you just struggle with the creative side of it, like the writing side of it, if you want to use one of our episodes, you want to use one of our stories, just let us know.
Yeah.
Would you be cool with that?
It'd be cool if you'd ask.
Yeah, as long as you ask.
I will say out of all of the episodes, there may be 10, 15 shorts I still think about using bits of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they aren't necessarily the ones everybody would think about. They aren't all the standout ones. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Because I read a thing one time about how Stephen King has so many that he'll sell the rights to film students for $1.
Yeah.
You don't even gotta give us $1. Just give us a heads up.
Yeah.
So we can say no if we want.
Yeah.
But that would be cool though. If people started making written by short films.
Exactly.
I mean, you have to credit us as the writers.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do it for free. Hey, thank you so much. 100 episodes of what's another thing we've done? 100 episodes of I'm trying to think of a reoccurring bit that we do.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a bit right here, just trying to think of things and falling a little short, but always, managing to get back on our feet by the end of the episode.
Right. That's the moral of Written By. We might not always get there.
Yeah, that is the whole reason we wanted to show this podcast. We want to show people the real, unedited, creative process.
Yeah,
and sometimes you come in, you're feeling low energy, you aren't feeling it. You just got to get in and do the work. And if you focus on it, you could usually come up with something you're a little proud of.
Oh man, you know what we should do? For the 100th episode on Instagram, we should both give our least, like, the episode we hate the most. Like, this is my most hated episode of Written By.
Yeah, we should prepare something about that. We should do a favorite episode. We should do a most underrated episode.
And we'll do it like reels. We'll do it as a reel.
Yeah, we'll do it throughout this week, guys.
So make sure you're following us on social media at Written By Pod, pretty much everywhere. You can find us on writtenbypodcast.com. You can email us suggestions for the bowl, which is getting a little light, fellas.
Yep.
To our email, writtenbypodcast@gmail.com. You can also send us suggestions for rival pitches because we always need ideas for rival pitches. Anything else? Make sure you're voting on Instagram, and I also just hope that you're enjoying the show.
Yeah,
100 episodes, dude.
Exactly. That's crazy. Yeah. Guys, you have a great 100 episodes of Written By Day. You have an okay 9/11.
This is 9/11.
It's weird to wish people a great 9/11, but I hope you remember a lot.
Happy 9/11, Written By 100. Does that mean we started? No, that doesn't mean we started on 9/11.
No, it doesn't.
No, that would be wild.
Yeah,
it's 9/11. Let's do a podcast.
Oh, you know the funny thing though, we recorded the week after the Capitol riot. Was when we recorded our first episode.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and our first episode was
the SoundCloud
rappers. Slap the teacher. 100 episodes of wild songs. Yeah, that's what we should do for the 100th episode. We should put out the songs.
That's right. Well, okay. Just a teaser for Rival Pitch coming up. We do have another song coming out.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Hold on, remind me. Oh yeah. Okay, so 100 episodes of us recording an episode and then me forgetting immediately after we stop recording.
You do, yeah.
It's not even like a funny bit.
I'll try to remind you of something like, oh, this was a fun idea that you had. And you're like,
every single time I'm like, can you remind me? I don't know. Thank you so much for 100 episodes. Let's hope we can do this for 100 more.
See you.